Library.
We like that. We like.
Just send me a text.
Welcome everybody to The Circle.
Hi everybody, Tony Tonkin here, and we're back with The Circle. Except we've got a couple of additional faces today. You still running through that, are you?
Yes, we like.
All right. Okay, so we've got a couple of new faces, and we've got Clara, and we've got Karen.
Hi.
And we've got an old face
Thanks.
over here, but nowhere near as old as mine. Mate.
Oh, I don't know.
So I have up, as you'll be able to see above us here, I've got truth and faith, when actually it's trust and faith. So my error. So yeah, I apologise for that, Avery. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Clearly it wasn't all that positive. But welcome, and joining the conversation tonight. It'll be an interesting one on how we determine and how we define trust and how we see faith. And that's not a religious faith either. It's just general faith. We're not going to have a religious discussion because that's bad. But we are going to have a discussion about truth. So I thought one of the things that we might start with is like, how do we view it in terms of a value? How do we view trust rather? How do we view trust? Or who do we trust? How do we go about trusting? What do people have to do in order for us to trust them?
That's a pretty good question, really.
Oh, of course it is. I asked it.
So I suppose the natural instinct would be to trust your family, your friends, things like that. People that are of value to you would be the way to put it.
Yeah.
And for people to earn that trust, I think a lot of us say that you have to earn trust, but really, I think you give trust away at first, and then you take it away if they're not trustworthy. Is the way I think the world is viewed, not the opposite way around.
So how do you see the exchange, Anthony? That exchange between two groups of people around trust. So do we trust them first?
I believe we offer the ability to have trust in them. So they're given the trust, and then if they break the trust, we take the trust away. I don't think it's a case of you have to earn that person's trust, and that's just not the way society works now.
Yeah.
So I believe that's how we generally see it these days. That and I guess a lot of times it's hard to do.
So we go into situations trusting.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Well, we're told that we have to have trust in our government and the police, fire departments, ambulance workers. We're told we have to have trust in those people, and I think that's just the way society is now.
Yeah. But do we? Do we?
Some yes, some no.
Yeah. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But that often depends on what they do to us. I guess.
That's right.
So have you guys got any ideas around trust? Not truth, as I've said up there, but
the truth about trust.
The truth about trust. Any thoughts? Clara, this is your first opportunity to be talking to the public. I just need to make a point that Clara doesn't want to be here. No, that's not true. She was forced to be here instead.
Yeah, some big meeting.
And she's really happy that her partner hasn't got any credit, therefore he can't be watching this as well. But he will later.
No, I said it will be proud of me.
He will be.
Yeah.
He will be.
He wants me to do this.
Because we're all proud of you.
Yes.
You're an amazing young woman. So, thank you. The audience has applauded such. So, what do you think? Do you go into situations and go in there trusting people generally? Is that, or are you skeptical about people? Do you question whether people can be truthful and honest with you? How do you see it?
Yeah, I have trust issues. I guess mainly with the department.
Yep. Surprise, surprise.
Yes.
I don't think there's a person out there that doesn't have trust issues with the department.
Well, those people that are involved.
But I went in there trusting them first, of course, because they took my children, so I had to trust them best to work with them to get them back.
Did you trust them, just talking about the department? This conversation actually isn't just about the department, it's also about how we process trust and, how we have faith in people, I guess, as well later on. But did you go in there hoping that they would be doing the right thing by your children or
Yeah,
by
pretty
you?
much, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, how's that going?
Not going best at the moment. They're not really trustworthy at the moment.
In what way?
Well, it lied to me.
Yeah?
It lied to my children. They say one thing different to another thing.
Yeah.
It just frustrates me.
But how different do you think things would have been for you had they not done those things? If they'd done, you went in there trusting them, they probably would do the right thing. They haven't been able to do that. Would the outcome have been different? Would you have felt different if there was a lot more trust?
Yes.
You would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. In what way? How do you think you would have felt different? Yeah, would you
Yeah, they
feel?
work with me.
No,
They
yeah.
offer me support.
You might have felt a little bit more confident about the outcome.
Mm.
Yeah, because they have, and I know in Clara's case they have betrayed her badly, in fact. But certainly it would have been a different feel to it. You would have felt a little bit more confident, I guess. I'm assuming, and you would have. You've worked pretty hard anyway, so you probably wouldn't have worked any differently. But at least you would have felt more confident about the outcome. What about you, Karen? What do you think about trust? Do you trust people or?
No.
Okay.
Very straightforward. Good.
Well, I'll ask you an open-ended question. What is it that why don't you trust people?
Because of what my husband and I are going through and what people react to us when we explain what's going on.
Yep. So have you always felt that way, or has it changed over time because of your involvement with the department? Or
Yeah.
what? Well, that was another closed-ended question. Sorry, I'll ask you open-ended questions. Just talk a little bit longer. You don't have to say no or yes. Just say. So have things changed from when you were prior, pre-kids taken, after kids taken? Have things changed? What's changed for you?
I trusted people before, and
No prompting from the sidelines, please. Yeah. So you trusted people at one stage?
At one stage, and then in situations that we're going through now, don't have trust.
So it's destroyed.
So you don't have faith in them. So because the other side thing is trust and faith. So so you'd find it hard to have faith in the system. Well, not. I find myself not just in the system anymore though, but it makes me wary of people in general now from my own treatment that I've received. So it makes it really hard to want to step there or even have a conversation with some people. Because you don't know what they want.
And they don't know how they're going to react.
You don't know how they're going to respond.
Out in the open.
But I suppose that's the issue with trust, isn't it? If you trust people, you're expecting them to kind of be like you, and you expect them to work from the same standard, I guess. Would that be fair enough? And then when they don't, that kind of shatters, I guess, to some degree your trust.
That's right. Because I guess the society as a whole is getting more and more like that now as well. Like it's harder.
Screen down, mate, so I can see it open.
It's harder to put trust in people now.
Yeah.
It is because we live in a world where everybody has to fight to get what they want. And so, it makes it hard. And going through things like having our children taken makes you, I think it changes you. It makes you more open-minded to possibilities. And then you meet people that haven't gone through those things, and they're very judgmental. And they might mean to be judgmental, but they are. Because they have had their mind open from the experiences they've, a lot of people had it pretty easy.
It makes you weary too.
Can I just ask if people comment about how they experience trust would be rather helpful. I was just going to ask you to bring down the comment screen if there are more comments there. I don't know if there are.
No, there's only
There's only a few comments. Sorry, okay, but you just keep an eye on that and just move it up and down maybe. So
Lights gone over.
Could you? We've got a bit of a technical problem over here because Mel has just pushed the light over. Do you push it back? Thanks, Mel. Hate to do the technical thing while we're on air. Okay, so I guess what we're saying here generally is that our principles and our values around trusting people was kind of intact, and then somehow because of our experiences, we become maybe less trustful.
Yeah, more closed off to the world, I think, is the better way to put it.
Yeah, more insular in a way. Okay.
More insecure.
More insecure. I just wonder if people could comment as well. Corianne's made a comment here about trust in the department, and it would be really helpful to understand the things that we're talking about now. Is like how did you feel about issues around trusting people prior to your involvement with the department, and how do you feel about trusting people right at this particular point in time? If you've had experience with the department, and not just with the department, because sometimes we have experiences with others, partners and other people, that means that we've just become less trustful, I guess. You really like that, like do some of your friendship groups and that sort of stuff, Clara?
In what sense?
Well, like somebody will do something that betrays you, or you feel dishonoured by in some way, and suddenly you lose trust in that person.
I think it's kind of hard, I guess, having like a friend. Like I've lost friends currently at the moment due to my situation. They turned around and said to me that they deserve being cared, you're not a good mother, or
Oh, right, you raised a good point. Yeah.
yeah.
But and the point is though that they're people that you know, are they not? So these are people that you know. So they would. Yeah. So when they become judgmental of you, that's another thing that destroys trust. Karen, you experience that from people as well?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Honorary parents and honorary grandparents.
Yeah, so they're people in your family that you've given that title to, I guess, for your kids. And so what have they done necessarily that it's affected you and your sense of trust?
They made notifications to the department.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to destroy anybody's trust, isn't it? To be dogged on by the
People you care about. Yeah, it could be that is quite damaging, I believe.
Yeah. So where does how do we still hold on to our version of trust? Like, do we still keep that as an important value that we want to be firm about, or do we simply say, no, because of this experience, I can no longer trust anybody? Like, do we throw the baby out with the bathwater?
No, I don't think that's possible. I think we're just more safeguarded against who we let into our lives now than what we did before.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why the department has one is an obvious one is because they're so open about the way they do their things.
Yeah.
That it's like a real punch in the face.
Yeah.
Like we've all had friends that have turned on us or backstabbed or said something behind our backs. It's just the way the world is now. But the departments that when they did that, like when they betrayed me and lied to me, it was just so open about it, that it was like a real smack in the face to me that somebody that I'm meant to have faith in, trust that they can do the right thing, didn't, and it doesn't faze them at all.
What do you mean? What do you mean it doesn't faze them?
Well, it's like I don't know, it's like they don't care that they've made you feel that way because there's no skin off their back.
So your expectation is that they should care about how you feel.
Well, they're humans after all. We should, humanity is all about caring about each other, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And that just seems to be a thing that you just, and I think since the department has been involved in my life, you see less and less of, because now you just don't see it in society even anymore. People, like I used to do a lot of hitchhiking in my teens, and I met some brilliant people like that. And I know you hear a lot of horror stories about hitchhiking, but I never once was ever endangered. I had great people pick me up and stuff like that. And I had heaps of trust in these people, and now I couldn't do it because I don't trust people at all.
Well, I hitchhiked when I was in the 70s. Just want to let people to know that.
Yeah, that was
It was
the 1970s are your age group.
Well, a combination of them both, actually.
early 2000s for me.
And I agree. I had a great.
Yeah, you meet some really lovely people.
I won't talk about the fact that I used to carry a knife underneath my.
Well, I did the same thing. I had a knife in my bag.
there
Because
go.
you still
Violent. We're violent people because we carried a knife.
It wasn't for the case of using it. It was just more the fact that you felt comfortable knowing that you have somebody there to defend yourself if it came down to it. But it never did. Never became a threat at all. So I had all these people in my life that I met, random people that were so kind. But these days, if you were to go on the highway and stick your thumb out, you get more fingers than you will people stopping.
You do.
So
you do. Those days have gone.
Yeah.
The hitchhiking. We're not advocating hitchhiking.
Well, actually, it's illegal now. You're not allowed to hitchhike. You're not allowed to hitchhike
do that
anymore.
anymore. Oh my God.
But people don't do that anyway. It's like the same as people break down side of roads. I like to stop and help people.
Here's the point.
I like to help. I still wouldn't have faith that humanity can be better than this. So I always stop and I help.
Do you have that feeling too that you want to help other people?
Yeah, but it's the trust.
Yeah. So okay, what's the difference between wanting to help other people? Do you choose not to help other people because you don't trust what they're likely to do?
Yeah.
What is it?
Right.
But so there's a part of you that wants to help others, right? But it doesn't. I've got to ask you an open-ended question to see if that was yes or no. So you want to help them? Yep. But there's something inside of you. What does it say that says that you can't?
I feel insecure because of
well
what
done.
we're going through.
Well done.
And
So it kind of changes your whole version, not just within the department, your interaction with the department, but also about how you feel about other people as well. What about you, Clara?
Well, it changes your whole life, really,
Yeah.
in my eyes.
So can you explain that a bit further? In what way does it change it? Well, what's changed in your whole life that wasn't there before?
Department, for one.
In your life? Yeah. But were you a more trusting individual before? As opposed to, I mean, do you still trust or do you still want to help people? You want to do the right thing by people? What Anthony's saying, that sense of humanity, right? You want to help
I still want to help. I want to still be able to trust people. It's just depending on how, I take that trust from those people.
Yeah, so what do you get back from them?
In my situation, I very rarely keep to myself now because of all the rumours that's going around about my situation.
Yeah.
You're doing really
I don't
well.
want to break down. This is why I don't want to come up here. But,
Well, we've got all these people that are online.
Yeah, Dylan's online too, watching me.
He said hi, babe.
And hi, Tony.
Oh, he's talking to me specifically when he said hi.
Hi, babe. And hi,
I guess how embarrassed when he talks to me like that, particularly in front of Clara.
He loves you.
I know, I love Dylan as well. And look, Dylan, thanks very much. Oh, Frank's online as well. Frank, get off. You shouldn't be here. So I guess the other point is, how do we respond? What do we teach if we have these issues around trust? Now, how are we convincing our kids at any time,
And
whether
how
we
can
have
we
them or
teach
not?
our children
Yeah.
to have trust?
Yeah, exactly.
Trusting people,
Yeah. How can we do that, Clara?
Love to put you on the spot.
I love putting you
Can't
on
come
the
up with
spot.
answers straight away.
Yes, you can. I know you can. So how do you go from not trusting people to teaching kids that they need to not, like we need to make sure kids are safe, we need to make sure they don't speak to strangers, that they don't do things that are inappropriate, right? But we need to teach them, I guess, that they need to have faith that people will do to some extent, always, there are boundaries around that, but to do things, to trust, if you trust you as mum and dad, for example, start there. So how do you teach them to trust you guys?
I guess being there and protecting them and make sure you're keeping them safe from harm.
Keeping the relationship going.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. You may leave the room. It's just
Don't break promises. Or
Don't
don't make
break-
promises you can't keep.
We'll get you to come up here in a sec so you can start talking about that. Mel, do you want to come up here as well? Okay, so we'll just have Avery's got his hand up. Yes, Avery.
Yeah, we've got a couple of comments that have come through. One is from Chris Bosenke, who says, what if the department lies and falsifies documents? And the other one is...
Well, can we do it one at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess,
What's a common
do
thing?
you want to talk to that one about lies and falsifying documents? Yeah, but can you two guys just swap with Mel, and, if you don't mind? Thanks, both. Round of applause to Karen and to Clara. Fabulous work. You guys are exceptional. So don't knock over the lights or pull down the...
I'm going to try and walk without
Thanks, Mel.
knocking anything over. I'm going to do that.
So you'll just deal with that one to start with,
Yeah.
which was
Falsifying.
how do we deal with them, with department falsifying or let's not say that they falsify. That's a pretty strong statement, I think. They distort the truth. So it's distortion. We had a session on, I don't know whether we were doing a circle or we did something else. We were talking about distortion.
I don't think we've done a circle one.
We haven't done a circle on distortion.
I don't think we have yet.
Oh, put that down, Avery. Well, this is kind of like entering into that territory. What do you think when, we are talking about trust and faith, trusting in particular in the department, but when they say things that are unhelpful, let's put it that way, how can we respond around that? What is it that you think we should do?
I'm telling you what not to do, don't prove them right. So that you don't go and do what they're saying you've done. I think that's the best thing.
Well, so what do you mean, like if it's drug and alcohol use, whatever, don't go and take
Don't go
drugs
and take drugs and don't go and drink.
Yeah.
You're just proving, their lies correct. I think, look, at the end of the day, you can't do anything until you're in a courtroom. Once they've written what they've written on paper, it doesn't matter whether you go from worker to worker. What's written on that paper is what they believe, is what they go by.
Yeah.
So until you get to court, you just do anything that they want you to do. Just go with it. Don't ever admit to it. Just go, okay, you think this is a problem, I'll address it. Fine, cool, address it. When you get to court,
It's
have your
addressed.
say.
And it's addressed.
And it's addressed.
Yeah, exactly. So you're saying that it's not about making it combative. So it's not about beating them
Waste
over.
too much time.
We do, don't we? Oh,
Waste
thank
too
God,
much
someone
time
else.
arguing with them. I know, I did it. I could have had another year with my
Hear
kids,
that,
but
Mel?
I've not argued
Yeah,
with
do
them
not
so
argue.
much.
I'll attest to that.
Yeah.
Although, working the way around, for the first year that I had to deal with the department, I didn't argue with them at all. I did everything they asked. And a year and a half later, I'm still dealing with them. So it doesn't work either way. Once they have an image of you, that's it.
Correct, but once you get into a courtroom, you can then distort their image of you because the judge then gets to make that decision.
That's it.
Not decent.
But don't wait.
And that's the most
Don't wait for the
important
department as a whole to tell you what you think they think you need to change. If you believe in yourself that you need to change things, go out and do them yourself.
Yeah.
Because it'll make you feel better as a person as well. Like most things that I've had to do, I've gone out and done myself, and I feel that's made me a stronger person.
Yep.
So
Yep. Absolutely. So I realise what you say, because I've been saying that all along. It's really nice to hear someone else say that. It's that don't challenge them necessarily. Tick the boxes. Do what has to be done. Even if you disagree with it.
Yeah.
We've had heaps and heaps of people we've worked with who haven't had a drug problem at all, ever. And somewhere along the line, someone has made notification that they're on drugs. Bingo, they're having to do drug tests. Well, instead of arguing about that, just go and do the drug test. The drug test will come back negative all the time. So
not
just
a big
do
deal.
it. And they're spending their money. Well, they're spending our money, actually.
But it only takes a couple of seconds to go do that drug test. It's done. You're proving yourself as a competent person. You're not on the drugs. You're not being an alcoholic. You're passing all that each time. And same as like they'll say do parenting courses. They're not going to tell you which ones to do. But go do them. Do them more than once. You learn heaps from parenting courses. They are really good. I think the title parenting courses maybe need to be changed. If like when I got involved with DCP and stuff like that, I said you got to do parenting courses. I felt like these were things going to tell me how to parent my kids.
Yeah.
They don't. They give you a really good helps and way you open your eyes to things that you wouldn't believe before.
Yeah. I just want to say, good to see Kirsty. It's Petman, isn't it? Kirsty on board. I haven't heard from Kirsty for ages, so great to see you joined us, Kirsty. So thanks very much. And Patricia's on, and there's a whole host of other people joining now. So looking very good. Keep at it. So put your comments on if you wouldn't mind. Margaret's made rather a lengthy comment there. I don't know whether we've covered that specifically? Do you think we covered that point that they were making around lying distortions? Except if they're distortions, accept them.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Yep. Yeah. You can argue and debate it in court. I had a client recently who had I know every page there were 3 or 4 objections, if you like, to what. And by the time you sat down and you worked out and argued all those objections, you've got to think, why have I done that? What's the purpose? It doesn't change the original affidavit that they've written, but it is there are arguments that you can put to your lawyer, and your lawyer can take them into court.
So there's another point though. When you do go to court, who do you trust? What lawyers can you go to that are going to help you? Now, my first lawyer I dealt with did nothing, just told me to agree with it. And if I knew the things I knew now, there's no way in hell I would have agreed.
Don't trust a lawyer who tells you to agree with anything.
So
That's
that's another interesting
my-
thing.
That's good advice.
My advice, never. Just don't listen to them. Walk out, find another lawyer.
Yep.
A lawyer who wants to listen to you, hear out what you've got to say, that's a lawyer worth
And
hiring.
the thing is, there's not a lot of them.
No, it's not.
There is not a lot of lawyers out there. So do your research, talk to people.
And if you're in South Australia, have a conversation with us. We'll direct you to one very good lawyer and some others that are kind of moderate, that I still have question marks around. But it's sad, really, that here in South Australia there's only one lawyer that we've found that we can absolutely trust. Mel, what do you think? You haven't said anything there. Do you want to give us some views around?
I was going to actually say something in relation to the lawyers being able. I mean, it's like all relationships, and we were talking about. Is it truth or trust? Trust.
It's trust.
Trust.
I lied up there.
Right.
That
Okay.
was an untruth.
Talking about trust now. Look, when you in all relationships and all people, we're all going to get along with certain people. Some people are going to get along with, some people we're not going to gel with. All right, and it's the same with looking for a lawyer. You've got to shop around. And I had this one conversation with one lady once, and I was on the phone for like 2 hours, and she was explaining me her story, and it was very, very long story, and I was mindful of the time, and anyway, I was trying to get. I was hanging on the phone trying to get to the end of the story from start to finish, and trying to work out how to get her to into the right direction. And I said to her, and I was getting a bit shitty, but can I say that?
Not too late. Said it now.
Anyway, beep. I was getting a bit annoyed with the conversation, and I said, look, if you can, when you see a lawyer, if you were to go and explain what you explained to me for 2 hours, your lawyer's just going to completely lose interest. And if you can explain your story from start to finish within 3 minutes, you've captivated your lawyer.
Well, the best thing to do is to have it in dot point form, though.
Exactly. And you need to be able to explain it as quickly as possible. And yeah, in dot point from start to finish, and shop around. Like there's lawyers that Tony has said that are good lawyers, and I've spoken to them, and I don't gel with them, and that's normal.
Well, that says a lot about our lawyers, doesn't it? If she's not gelling with them.
Oh, some.
Or is it
some.
something?
I do, yeah, some. I haven't spoken to all of them.
Well, that's right. We haven't got very many, so that's okay. I can assure you.
Yeah. But,
We haven't. Pardon? We can count them on one hand.
some people are going to get along.
No, that was one. That was just one lawyer. You guys, you've got to understand that I can use any number of my fingers to say one. Yeah, Mel, so you're really basically saying that sometimes we just need to get the story succinct.
Yep,
Yep,
get it
make
out,
sure
and
that-
from start to finish, don't leave anything out. You're only doing yourself
And don't. And the other thing too that really frustrates me, I guess, is when people continually repeat their story. And then we find out that person has told other people the same story only hours or so beforehand. So And I can understand people's need to want to get out their frustration and annoyance. I kind of get all that. But, find yourself a counsellor that you can do that stuff
Or your
with.
friends.
Yeah, but don't badger people about it either, because that actually doesn't help in terms of,
Friendships.
So
Continuing friendships is another point, though. It's hard to continue a friendship with somebody that doesn't understand where you're at in life as well. Like, I found that myself, I don't have the friendships that I had. And before, my children were taken because they just don't understand, or they have their reasons, I guess. And so then you lose faith in these people that you've known for a long time.
Yeah.
And then that shakes you at the core, I believe, and that's where you find it hard to put faith or trust in anybody.
Is it because you become more isolated?
I believe so.
That's also
Because
having a high
isolation.
expectation on your friend, like that. No one can feel how you feel unless they've felt it. So I guess it's really, unless they're judging you, unless they're saying, look, we don't actually hear what you're going to say, or they make you feel a way you don't want to feel, then I think with friendships, you can't expect them to. It's really hard.
Well, they don't have to. They don't have to understand it,
yeah.
but they can just acknowledge that you're going through
Correct.
a hard time and be
that's what
supportive.
Well, that's right. Absolutely,
Yes, that's
spot on.
correct.
So,
Yeah.
and I found that very few people can actually stick to that, especially when you go
Yes.
through a hard time. Like
Yeah.
10 years ago, when my son passed away 10 years ago, I spent probably 6 months of the period after that on my own.
Yeah.
Because nobody understood. And that was all I ever got from most people I talked to was, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say, I don't know how you feel. And I always just said to them, you don't have to know how I feel. I just want people to be around.
Yeah. And
So-
I think one of the worst things anybody can say, and I hear it so often, is I understand.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
You don't have to.
You never lost the child.
You've never been through it. And everybody's experience is different anyway, depending on how they've been raised and other stuff in their lives. Yeah. So don't ever say, folks, I understand, because you don't.
And never say there's someone out there in a worse situation.
Well, I hate that one. I hate that as
Hate
well.
that one.
Yeah, well, how do you know? Like, you've spoken to everybody?
That just makes you
Yeah.
annoyed and
700
angry.
people.
That's when somebody says that to you. I've had that happen to me, and I've actually lost my temper at that point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's one thing that pissed me off. I've gone through a lot in my life, and I don't compare myself to like yourself or Stacey or anybody else. Like, we each go through things differently. We all experience things differently. So when you sit there and you tell somebody that somebody's gone through worse, then that's just taking away like
What you're going through.
what they're going through, like making them feel like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's just not what you do.
Now, I know the screen was behind, so I don't know whether that's actually Facebook. We'll just motor on regardless. I noticed it froze just a minute ago, Adrian. Beg pardon? Okay. Oh, here's she. Go, KJ. One of my most favourite
You will see that.
15-year-old.
Yeah.
I need glasses, but
What is it that?
so we've got the new technology here. It's called a large screen. A new investment by the organisation at great expense in the studio. Don't you think?
Absolutely. I'm loving the makeup artists.
The makeup, we spend hours in the makeup room.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I won't talk more about making up because it'll go down a path which we really don't need to go down tonight. But there was another question in that. On there? Do you have another one?
Well, we've had lots of comments, as you can see, come through. The one when I raised initially was that I think it was Kylie Ann came in and said that after all they've been through with the department, is it any wonder that people lose trust?
Yeah.
Margaret Black has said that it's a very good reason why we need advocates and independent legal representation, which is a policy of the Child Protection Body.
Absolutely, and we need more advocates. Like, I did a radio interview on one of the better known radio stations here in Adelaide today, 101.5. It has 6 listeners in the morning, and I was fortunate to go to this interview because my son was actually on air at that time, so it was kind of like a gift. Fabulous young man with a fabulous father. Just want you to know that. But I talked today about New South Wales legislation in relation to the changing legislation over there in the foster caring and the adoption. And I've got a couple of good policies. Did you know they had a policy on paying $74,000 a year for professional foster parents? Yeah. I thought that was fabulous. Well, yeah, get your kids back. But one of the things that struck me though was just in talking about advocacy is that number one, no one does the advocacy that Strengthening Families does, our organisation. No one does that advocacy. We do it for nothing. But I was appalled to see Adopt Change get $2.3 million to provide a program where foster parents then become the adopted parents.
That's terrible. That is the worst.
$2.3 million they get because they're run by Deborah Furness and Hugh Jackman, and they have their contacts with Turnbull, Morrison, others, I guess. They're in that elite class. They don't understand what it's like for people like you guys to have to go through what it would be. And you guys, not so much Mel, but Mel as well.
It takes longer than 2 years to get your act together.
Well, it does. It does. It's taken you 45.
No, hang on a minute. I'm 35 tomorrow, thank you very much.
35 tomorrow. Oh, I had it around the wrong way, didn't I? But yes, and people that have got kids for 2 years, I've got they've got a good chance that your kids might go in New South Wales into an adopted family. Bingo! Lose name, lose identification, lose birth certificate, lose your heritage.
And then what happens if the department go knocking on the adopted parents? Then what? Does the whole adoption process start all over again?
Well, maybe there could be multiple adoptions. Who knows? But one of the other things when I was preparing for this extremely wonderful interview, which you can all listen to on 101.5 here in Adelaide, it actually was. I was a bit disappointed with my interview, to be quite honest. But I was embarrassed because my son was asking me questions, and normally I'm the one asking him questions, like where have you been, what have you been doing, and who have you been seeing, stuff like that. But the interesting thing was that I forgot what I was going to say because I was too busy ranting. Yeah, it wasn't about that. That's what distracted me. Talking about that was that we do this stuff for nothing, and there's all this money out there. That was it. A couple of years ago, there's a woman from New South Wales who contacted me in relation to some stuff, which is about how people the amount of money spent on providing adoption services and what that looks like. We did some investigation around that, and we found some legislation that specifically talks about how much money is used. And for one child to be adopted over there, an NGO could receive up to around $44,000 per child to go through the adoption process and do all the things that they need to do. And when you think of fairness, I was talking about this today. It's like a really interesting business model. And the business model is we have 2.3 from the government to set us up so that we can have staff and all that other sort of stuff. And then we get people in to want to foster the kids. And those people that are fostering the kids will eventually adopt those children, at which point we've got a good chance of making $44,000. So with 100 kids, that's $4.4 million. You see, what a business model. Don't you reckon? I reckon it's a scam. And I'm happy to say it's a scam, and I'm happy for anybody to challenge me.
I agree. We got to get fired up about this.
Talking about adoption, like the adoption side of things, and you're saying new name, new identity. What happens if children are adopted to different families?
Same thing.
Yeah, okay. So hang on. When they're older, right? They meet at a coffee shop. They have this attraction to one another, which happens to be your brother and sister. And oh wow, it's attraction because they're your sibling.
It's biological.
That's right. You love them, but they think it's something else, and then something happens which shouldn't happen, and they don't know because they're both adopted. That's not.
It's cutting.
Well, it's not only that.
Completely out, isn't it?
Well, I agree that, and I have a case in point that I could talk about.
Without getting drilled too much about this, isn't that just Tasmania?
Please, please.
My family's from Tasmania. You shh.
We could have guessed that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now we understand what it's all about. Yes, that's one of the problems. Of course, the other problem is medical. So how do we know what the medical background is often of these kids? Is that stuff given up at the point that the child's given up for adoption? The greatest trauma any child experiences is actually the separation from a sibling.
Yeah.
So when that happens, you know, and about, you know, when you meet your siblings later on in life, which is likely to happen, how do you engage with them? What sort of relationships do you have with them if you've never had a relationship? You know, and the sense of, and I know this from personal experience. I won't go into it now because I have to reveal too much, but I know from personal experience that can be a devastating experience because these people hope that they'll be able to make a connection. And when you can't, because you just haven't grown up together, you have nothing in interest, you have completely separate, different lives, it can be devastating. And not only that, it's also about...
not always attached neither.
No, it's also
They've
about...
already experienced a significant loss already.
And it's about complete loss of identity. As well, yes. And that's the struggle that a lot of adopted kids have. So do you want to add? So adoption's a real issue. I don't know. Do we have that on our list as something to talk about?
No, it's on the list for later on. About 6th or 7th on the list.
Well, we've only got 2 more of these sessions to do. Then we're having a Christmas break.
Yeah.
So we'll have to be on next year's list, I guess.
Well, you put that on the list, and I suppose we've got to keep on with what we're meant to be talking about.
What are we meant to be talking about?
Trust and faith.
Trust.
Truth,
not truth.
Proof of it?
Not truth. Anything else up there, Avery, that is of note?
Well, there has been lots and lots of comments. One that particularly stood out to me there was Michelle Daniels brought up the subject of legal aid, how there's only a limited amount, and as I recall in South Australia, I think it's only about $14,000.
Yeah, they've got a common.
It's also really hard to get access to that as well.
I thought it was $10,000.
No, 14.
Is it 14?
Yes.
More than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
But
bonus.
yeah, it's quite hard to get hold of access to that as well.
But that's
I
per
know-
year, isn't it?
So if the department takes you to court, you can get access to that a lot easier than if you were to take the department to the court. So that's hard.
Well, and we need to have a lawyer to talk to us about this, but you figured out you're shining on you now, haven't you, Avery? That's good. You've got the camera on you now?
No, it's on you.
No, it isn't. I can see it from here.
Delayed.
I've inadvertently hit the transition button.
Transitioned it to himself.
Yeah.
Go, Avery. But the problem with the money is that you normally have to prove to legal aid that you actually have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you can't prove that, and the person that proves that is your lawyer. So if your lawyer doesn't believe in you and believes the crap that the department has said and takes that on board, then you it's gone. You're done and dusted. That's
And a lot of them will. A lot of them will just believe what the department wants.
Well,
because it's about making money. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
they're a lawyer to make money.
Yeah.
They have a case to build, and you as a parent need to be out there building your case against them.
Stephen Mitchell.
And you do that by doing your parenting courses, you address all their concerns. Am I talking to myself?
No, you're talking to... No, the camera's over there, the mic's here. People are out there in their thousands watching you, Mel, as we speak.
Oh, 20,000 viewers, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's awesome. What was I saying?
I don't know, we were listening.
Oh yeah. About building your case, you've got to be out there building your case because they're there building their case against you.
Well, they're building their case from day one.
Exactly.
Actually, so, and you need to actually build your case also from day one.
And address all their concerns. Look at what their concerns are. Don't bother arguing with them. And just address all the concerns. Do all your courses. There's usually like in categories. Like there's mental health, there's parenting capacity, there's what else?
Parenting capacity isn't a course. That's what they do to prove your parenting capacity. But mental
you
domestic
as a
violence.
parent can increase your parenting capacity by doing your parenting courses and
Well,
learning about
absolutely,
parenting.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. We've discussed that.
Getting up, yeah.
Okay. I just want to say hello to Stephen. I noticed that Stephen's online now, and he's probably looking over here thinking, how handsome am I? So thanks, Steve, buddy. That's my boy. Beautiful woman here, sensational woman. Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Does Frank want to come up?
Trust and faith.
Oh, Frank, do you want to come up? Come up here, Frank, for a sec. Just take over for Mel.
Alright.
No, knock the stuff over.
Yeah, careful there, Mel. Careful.
Over, yes.
I did it. Yes.
Can I raise a point about trust?
Yes.
With the department, they started to.
This is like Q&A. Yes. We have a question over here. Karen.
They stated to my husband that trust me, Frank. You'll thank me at the end of all of this.
The ones that they'll trust.
Trust them.
Yeah.
I'll thank them at the end of all this.
Oh, you will thank them. You guys will thank them.
But,
Well, thank away, mate.
I'm going to take my children and ruin their lives and everyone else.
And that's when they were going to the trauma board.
So,
Send them a card.
yeah, that's
And a bunch of flowers.
now that'd be an interesting idea if we all got together and sent them thank you cards.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank
Well,
you.
acknowledge that they think that the work they think they're doing well. I don't think that's a great idea to give them.
Okay.
No, that's,
Don't do that. That was a silly idea
Yeah, no.
coming from me. Okay, Frank, did you want to add anything to this conversation around trust?
It's pretty hard to gain trust when the trust isn't there to start with. Doing stuff you're trying to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And they don't want to tell you, so you don't trust them. You ask for stuff, they don't tell you nothing, so you still don't trust them.
Yeah.
Personal things, information, they don't want to tell you. How can you trust that?
No, exactly. No, exactly. I
Your
understand
kids ask you for something, you tell them straight, look, this is it, they trust you.
that. Absolutely.
You ask them something, they don't want to tell you, so the trust is out.
Yeah, trust works both ways. So if they
But
showed trust in you and then told you the truth, you'd have trust in them.
Our case, the worker said to us a few months back, it'd be interesting, if you could, do a family tree for the boys. Well, what's the point of doing a family tree?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
If you've got the resources, do it yourself.
But I just want to finish off on one other thing that I think that was actually well done, because exactly where I'm going is what faith and trust do we have in Mel?
Yes.
What faith or trust? It started now. And look, I haven't even got a piece of paper where she's written something dirty on. You know, so I should yes, it is a cleaner show, even though Stacey's here. But so, what about our own sense of trust in ourselves to do the right thing, to continue to motor on regardless of all the obstacles that we have to face? Like we talked about, like we get battered around, and our self-esteem and everything.
I think having trust in yourself becomes shaky as well, though. It does, because you lose the confidence to be able to do the things you would, so you lose that trust in yourself to be able to succeed.
Yeah. You second guess everything that you wouldn't have prior to. Give me back my water.
I want you to concentrate on the story at hand, talking about trust in oneself.
You can't, but you can. Like, you have to. It's not that you can, you have to. You don't have a choice. Because
you have to keep moving on every day.
That's right. You're the only person you can trust. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many people you've got in your life, you're the only person you can trust. Your decisions, what you do, it's all on you. So you need to trust yourself. And that's hard. You can second guess yourself.
You have a bit of faith in yourself.
You just need to
It takes a bit of
power.
getting used to.
Yeah, it does. So, and I know I think Stacey's a wonderful example of someone who has What?
I'm talking to you.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Stephen?
No.
Because, Stacey throughout this whole process has been dogged, has been determined, has not wavered from what you believe was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Haven't you? And the outcome has been positive for your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that's worth noting. That if you keep positive, you don't allow yourself to get weary or untrustful or sad or whatever it is that happens to people. But you just keep fighting on, and you have good people. I think you need good people around you to support you. That's why we have the Child Protection Party, everybody, and that's why we have.
Sometimes it's better to have no one around you as well. Just remember that it's okay to have times where you go,
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what, I don't want anyone around me because I need to get my head straight, and other people's ideas aren't always very good ideas.
No, that's true. That's true.
So, yeah.
So, but you need somewhere where you can express your frustration, your anger, your resentment, all that sort of stuff. Though
Not in front of decent
but no, never in front.
So you need
Never in front of the public.
So the good thing about the Child Protection Party is we're all like-minded. We're all gone through similar things. We've all experienced, like, our children being taken, I guess is the best way to put it. And so it's a good place for people to come and talk to us. And,
Yeah.
It's
the way it is.
how you feel sort of.
Yeah,
you
we
can
don't-
express it though. In this group here that we're in right now, like we'll have our chat online, we have a chat outside. We all get along really well, and we all understand each other pretty well.
Yeah,
There are certain people within the public that don't want that.
What,
Well, that's
what
right.
happened?
They don't want us to have contact.
You have an outlet with other people within the group, like who want to go
Well,
through
this
similar
is-
stuff.
But this is why we have a fabulous time here when we all get together. I think I really love my Tuesday nights, and getting rid of you is the problem.
It's
Seriously,
Coffee makers are excellent.
Yeah, but 3 o'clock in the morning, guys. That was a bit rich last week. I thought that was a bit heavy. But to get and also to connect online. And to become involved. If people want to get involved in a circle. And they have availability to Skype. We can connect people through Skype. We could even have a process. We could have a number of people at one particular time contributing to the discussion. It'd probably mean a longer discussion because there'll be so many of us. But there are possibilities that we can have to get involved with us. We have a core group of people that now come to do the circle, and we'll maintain that because this is a fantastic group of people. But we'd like more people to get involved in the discussion. I think we've had 16, 17 people online at any given time. Those people rotate, so we've probably got a couple of hundred people that have watched this already. So, but we'd like to have more. I mean, we want to know who shared us already. We've been talking tonight. Which one of you? Many people that have been offering your fabulous comments. So somebody, Stephen Bloke said, somebody says hello.
My daughter.
Yeah, I know she can't talk.
Lovely at May.
She can't talk.
She's
Probably watching them.
Oh, is she? All right. And being confused as to why you're on television or on the computer or the phone.
Trying to eat the phone.
Yeah.
She's a star.
So, yes, Avery, you had your hand up, mate?
Yeah, it was what you were saying about people getting together and that. We've got a circle, and you want people to sort of Skype in or whatever to join in the conversation. But we've also got the Child Protection Party Support Group, which is a closed private group that people can join, where they can talk through their issues, discuss it with people in the same situation. Yeah. And they can find that just by searching for Child Protection Party Support Group on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to, we'll finish it off now, but I would really like everybody, this is a real serious note, I'd like everybody to admire our technology that we're using, because it's clever, it's very clever, isn't it, Mel? And it's taken us how long to get it right?
About 3 months.
Yeah.
Sorry, years.
3 years. And the interesting thing about it is we still haven't got it right. But we're trying to improve it all the time. I'm actually thinking of buying some additional hardware to help us in terms of our sound, to improve that quality. And Avery, man.
You're boned without him.
You're what without him?
You're boned. I'm not swearing, remember?
This is that, I'll tell you.
I'm actually really, maybe we should just give her a water Not boned! Of all things! Yeah. Avery's a lovely man, but he's not that good, I can tell you that. We're watching a bit of a replay on the TV set over here, and it's fascinating just to watch you try to explain what you just said.
Talk to me.
So we're going to have to ban Stacey now from turning up.
Yeah, I think you get the money.
I think she's going to be censored. Yeah, there's a good chance Facebook won't let us back next week. We could revert to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do it YouTube.
We'll be getting a message shortly from Facebook about a violation of community standards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're really bugging then, haven't we? Yeah. So, and I think the thing is, we have a good time, don't we?
Yeah, have a laugh.
Yeah, and we have. And
All seriousness
it's a
aside.
shame that people can't join us afterwards, because some of the discussions we have after just airing some of these ideas out the back are fabulous discussions. And
Yeah, but I think we get banned from YouTube.
yeah, we thought we might YouTube those discussions as well.
It's possible to get banned from that.
Yeah, well, that's true. So thanks everybody for joining us. Remember, Avery, when we go on OBS, just click the OBS stop streaming. And thanks for being with us. What are we doing next week, Avery?
My Alzheimer's has kicked in and I can't remember. But there'll be a poster up tomorrow on Facebook about it.
All right. So, and that is if Avery remembers how to get into Facebook because of his Alzheimer's.
As if I haven't been banned because mentioned my name and voting.
That's so true. But I've just got a message from his wife who said she's never had that experience with Avery, so that's another issue. But we love you, Seth. Yeah, you shouldn't go there. Okay, thanks everybody for being with us. We've had a great time. Hope you have as well. Join with us next week when we're back on the circle.
See ya.
See you, though.
Bye.